Alright guys, how's it going? So sorry there weren't any videos last week. I just kind of got a little bit occupied trying to figure out stuff when I moved here. And it was a pretty good week overall. Just kind of got a car figured out, got everything like done. Still need to paint the room, but we should be able to get onto that pretty soon. And yeah, for today, Reddit. I just wanted to transfer my stuff from an abandoned account to my new one, and I found this. You know, maybe there was a formatting error bringing it over. Maybe this was already in the account and it was just modded when you had the account. This probably, because I see Xbox One here, but I see, yeah, oh, yeah, this probably was already modded and then you dragged it over and then maybe it corrupted even more. Maybe it was already like this whenever you owned it. But I doubt that this happened from transferring a save, and if it did, then fair enough, but I kind of doubt that. It's cool though. Also, if you have a Jacob's version of an Infinity, your character does try to fan the hammer, so it's really funny to watch the hand just sort of static, like sit there. Sometimes you'll see it like twitch a little bit, but it does make it funnier. It's not legit unless you have video evidence. Oh, okay, so we're just kind of memeing on people that are like, whoa, look at my perfect Deepa is so cool. Alright, that's, never mind, he can't even drop that. This is just a shitpost, very fair. That's funny, I respect it. You know what, never mind, I'm just going to move on. Gutter Boy had a Topnia. Yeah, I mean, this can happen. Since technically he pulls from the same pool that every other enemy pulls from, they just pull basically from like what can spawn in a chest. So it could literally be anything from like white rarity all the way up to like world drop legendary. The odds of world drop legendary or even pearls is like incredibly, like super low, which is why nobody ever really reports in about it. But it could theoretically happen. They just pull world drops. Now, obviously they can't get like the Norfleet, for example, because it can't drop as a world drop. That one specifically has to be dropped from one of two sources, which technically makes it more of a unique than a legendary. But yeah, you can get pretty much everything else. Trying out the Bearcat on Krieg, it's actually fun. You know, I actually do have a guy who hangs out in my stream a lot. He's a really nice dude. His name is Icy Flame. He absolutely advocated for the Bearcat. It is actually really cool. He's a really good Krieg player. I'm not sure if he streams much anymore. I don't know. But it's Icy Flame. The I in the beginning is swapped with the L, so it's LCY and then FIAME, as far as I'm aware, unless he finally got that switch back around. But he's a really good Krieg player. He's kind of gross, and yeah, he's kind of put me on to like what's actually useful on Krieg. Is this even legal? No, but it's funny. Listen. If you have BLCM, you can just do stupid stuff like this. That's the Borderlands community mod manager. Yeah, they have a custom mod called cars.blcm. I think that's all it's called. And basically, it allows you to just take any vehicle and take it through any door. And you can also access any vehicle from your vehicle spawners. And it's kind of fun. There's not a whole lot of great use for it besides, well, cheating. You know, because like you can have a sand skip and you can just launch yourself across the map, and it's kind of funny for that. But besides that, there's not really a whole lot for it. But it is funny. Got Vermi to spawn with some friends. All I got was the head. Alright, let's see. So we're running that little bit of Two Fang life. We got two Sal's. That Sal's not doing too much. He's probably just trying to farm XP. We got the Maya, we're OP3, probably, based on the health, or the level there. Maybe even OP1. Right, so we got a head. Yeah, that feels really bad, man. Yeah, farming Vermi outside of farming for the heads now is kind of useless because Hyperius exists, and he's easier to get to. He respawns, you don't have to save quit. He's just kind of there, you know? So yeah, that kind of feels bad, but honestly, Vermi isn't really that great of a pick for farming Norfleets anymore. Is this a modded class mod? Well, it's blue. Has a +7 and a +6. Okay. It's stuff like this where I wonder if it's an actual question or not. You know what I mean? Because, like, what other legendary class mods have you seen that are blue? What other legendary class mods have you seen have anything higher than a +5? Right? Like, I hope that they actually do know and that this is just a meme. It has to be, right? Hopefully. Guys, I just came up with this build, Rough Rider on accident. I know it sounds counterproductive, but I'm at OP10 and it's crushing enemies, plus pretty much unkillable. Feel free to ask me anything about it or give me some suggestion. Okay, so Rough Rider, we got pretty generic guns here for an Axton. Maybe that's damage, maybe that's rocket jumping, I don't know. We've got, I mean, this is a pretty bog standard Axton skill spec, I think, for the most part. Of course, you don't get quick charge because quick charge is kind of useless. Getting last ditch effort is kind of weird because that implies that you do think you are going to go down, and if you think you're going to go down, then kind of what's the point, you know? So these points could go into resourceful, I would personally think, just so that you can get a little extra turret cooldown while you're out and playing. You could get into fights a little more frequently and it'd be a little bit better for that. Everything else seems pretty reasonable. I wouldn't really get crisis management, but I know you're running a Rough Rider, so it does make more sense. But depending on what grenade you run, you could run Grenadier instead. Like, you've got a fastball, that's pretty good for a Grenadier spec. But yeah, this is a serviceable build. It's totally fine, this all makes sense. I personally don't like max health builds too much in OP10 because everything deals so much damage that you end up having your health bar dropped in 2 shots anyway, and so that just means you have to heal even more to get back up to full health so that you don't get health gated and killed in 2 shots. But yeah, this is a build. The Zafford Congo Line, oh god. Okay, I just feel like they could have done this so much better, right? Because, like, why are they all programmed to come back here whenever McZafford wants to go somewhere? Is it to get them out of the way? Because if it's to get them out of the way, it's so inconvenient still because that's where he's coming from. I've never understood this. The only really good way to fix this is to save quit most of the time, or just go do something else and wait for him to just finally shuffle his way out. You can try to body block the people, which sometimes works, but that's about all you really can do. I don't like the bar. It's an annoying map. A piece of a rat that I did. This is really cool. I actually do really like this. Classy rocket. Yeah, this is nice. A little Vladoff AR here, a little knife there. Little cool details, little scuffs. He's got the glowy little eyeballs, which kind of makes him a little more endearing. I really like this. This looks cool. First time fighting and beating Terra. Took 2 tries, got launched off the map the first run. Yeah. You're playing Salvador, you're holding a Grog and a Herald, you've got, what is that, a Neo or an Evolution? Maybe it's just some Anshin shield. You've got an unhinged Berserker, which honestly a 2-gun would be better at this point, or even a legendary Gunzerker for the duration if you need it. Yeah, I'm not surprised that you can do this as Sal, but it's a good job for you since this is your first time doing it. Very nice. So close yet so far. You know what? If you were just running through the game, I mean, this is obviously OP10, so this is kind of like, oh well. But if you were just running through the game and you got a Tor grip on a decent Herald, can't be mad, you know? It does good damage, it's great. Honestly, maybe like a little more damage stuff on it, of course, like obviously, but like you wouldn't want double penetrating in some instances because it just costs so much ammo to use. If you have a super high fire rate, you're just going to dump and then you're going to have to reload every 5 seconds, and it just kind of makes it worse for you overall. So like, nothing wrong with a not deep a Herald. My 0 skill tree, any opinions? Alright, let's see. So, melee hybrid, looks like. This is kind of weird. I don't know what we're doing. So we've got crits, which are good. This is only good if you're doing Infinity. Bore always. This can make Pimpernels really hard to use because it'll make the projectile spawn super high in the air and fan out even further, which kind of makes it really rough to use. The accuracy probably is a dumb stat that they picked. Fast hands is good. Ambush is useful if you have like a grenade or something like that. Rising shot, of course. Death mark, of course. Innervate because you got to move down the tree. That's fair. Two Fang can be good on gun builds if you have a +6 Two Fang comm and a Shadow Relic to guarantee it. Kunai because of course. Killing Blow is great. Iron Hand, not so great of a pick. You could have gone with Backstab instead to have gotten way more damage on your melees. Grim will make it really hard to get your melee shield stripped if you are going melee on purpose, unless this is just a weird hybrid build where you want to open with melee and then go to guns, in which case, like, sure, maybe. Follow through is a great pick. Execute is really good even if you're not a melee build, to just shove enemies away for a point, like half a second, because during that time you can maybe get in a better spot. Maybe you can just take advantage of them not being able to attack because they're staggering at the moment to shoot them more. Nobody really gets this one because you just hold a grog anyway, so this is kind of fair. Like the Wind doesn't actually work with Execute, I've been told, and I've kind of seen it myself. So it's good for the guns, but not necessarily great for the melee if you're using Execute. And then, of course, Mini must fall if you're a melee character, like, sure. But yeah, I mean, this is a fine build. I would move Iron Hands down to Backstab. I would probably move these two to anywhere else. Maybe you could also get, like, Unforeseen for a little extra splash damage. You could also get, like, more points into accuracy and then get at one with the gun, so that you could get a little extra sniper mag size and stuff like that if you have a sniper on your build. But like, this will work. This build, it exists, you know, it's one of those. Alright, I think we are already towards the bottom here, guys. So, thank you for hanging out today. I appreciate it. Nothing real crazy in the works right now because I gotta figure out stuff still. But if you guys liked the video, please leave a like, I'd appreciate it. If you have any ideas, leave a comment. If you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it. We're getting really close to 1,000 at this point. If I hit 1,000, any ads you see will actually help me on the videos instead of just all going to YouTube. So anytime you see an ad, you'll be able to feel like, hey, at least it's helping a little bit. And that'd be really cool if we could do that. Have a nice day. Thank you for hanging out. See you later.